So we touched on this earlier in one of our chats around the power of alternate nostril breathing to support sleep and digestion. And I just wanted to revisit that, share a little bit more information, and remind you how powerful a tool Nadi Shodhana, or the cleansing of the channels, alternate nostril breathing, is to support good quality sleep and good quality digestion. And from the perspective of a good quality life, I think we all know how powerful just having a good night's sleep is. We hear almost on a kind of chronic and epidemic level that people have a hard time falling asleep or have a hard time staying asleep. And this is definitely not something that you have to live with. We are not going to say that this is normal. This is an indication of some sort of imbalance in our energy. And we're actually often overstimulated, which is why we can't fall asleep, or we're so exhausted that we do fall asleep, but then we can wake up very easily, or we sleep lightly or restlessly because of that overstimulation of the mind and the emotions. And that it makes it hard for us to stay asleep, or if we wake up, hard to fall back asleep. I spent probably from the time I was maybe 7 or 8, right up until I really found yoga with chronic sleeping issues. I am very aware of the ongoing frustration of just not being able to sleep well. My parents work shift work, and so there was always this kind of weird times of coming and going that created a real kind of imbalance within my sleep patterns, as well as just an overstimulation of too much TV, probably too much sugar, and all of those kinds of things. So we've explored, and I hope that you've been practicing consistently so that you can see that there are benefits from the harmonizing of this kind of heating or cooling energy through the body. And also, the more we can kind of eliminate toxins mentally or emotionally through a consistent practice, we can begin to notice the benefits. One of the things that I wanted to kind of add to this is a really interesting tip. When we're talking about the power, the motivating, heating, stimulating energy of the right side, and the calming, nurturing, kind of slowing down energy of the left side, is to be aware of what side you sleep on. One of the things I realized once I started to study this knowledge is for almost my whole entire life, I had slept on my left side. So when you sleep on your left side, what happens is you actually compress that nadi, that channel on the left. And when your right side is up and open, that energy is open. So the left nostril is kind of closed and pressed, and the right side is open. And remember, we've been talking about the right side is the stimulating, the solar side. So once I brought this to my awareness, it took me quite a long time because we really get established in our habits, but I started sleeping on my right side because my energy was always very active and up, and it was always very hard for me to fall asleep. Once I started sleeping on my right side, what that does is open the left. Open that left side energy, which helps to more calm and soothe and ground our energy, we could say. At the beginning, it was actually quite uncomfortable because my right side and even my right nostril was quite open for breathing, and the left side was kind of always congested and kind of tight. So it took a little bit of practice. But I don't think we can emphasize enough how important and how practical this is as a tool in understanding the power of the energy that's moving through which nadi as you're experiencing different things in your life. So that's the first thing I want to talk about. If you have a hard time sleeping, if you have a hard time falling asleep, if you have a hard time noticing that falling back asleep, you may want to spend more time sleeping on your right side. Now, the other side of that coin is if you are sleeping during the day, if you are having a hard time waking up in the morning, it may be more important in the early hours that you're sleeping on the left side. You're kind of compressing that dulling and kind of heavy energy, and you're opening yourself up to kind of the more stimulating and heating, motivating energy of the right side. So this is something that you can kind of consider. The power of alternate nostril breathing as a tool to use when you are having a hard time sleeping, I do not think can be emphasized. It is a game changer. So if sleep is an issue for you, the first thing I would recommend is that you just begin a consistent practice of alternate nostril breathing before you go to sleep every night. Ideally, you want to turn off any kind of stimulation at least a good hour or two before bed. You do not want your last, I'll say it actually this way, the light of a screen, our phone, all of that information carries a heat and energy with it. And it is actually not even a natural heat. It is a artificial heat and energy, and it stimulates the nervous system with information and with artificial light. So when possible, just really begin to create a practice of turning those things off before you go to sleep. And turning those things off a good couple hours before you're preparing to go to sleep. And for within your last half an hour before going to bed, just try and instigate a consistent practice of nadi shodhana, of alternate nostril breathing. I don't know, maybe a month, maybe two. It may take a while for you to really notice consistent benefits, but I promise you they are there. And with a bit of perseverance, a bit of patience, and a bit of consistency of practice, I don't have any doubt that you will experience them. So take some of these other considerations that we've shared, bring a sense of even imagination and light and color into your practice. If you're feeling overstimulated, if you can't calm the system, or there's an anxiety or a tension or frustration, then just bring a light color of gentle warmth, a white or a yellow hued, a light blue or green, a color that's soothing to you into your alternate nostril breathing. And with every breath in, you can just imagine that light kind of washing through your body. And with every exhale, just invite yourself to kind of soften and relax and release a little more. But I would remind you one more time to let go of any expectations. Nothing will happen quickly. But it will absolutely happen. These practices have stood the test of time because they work. And maybe it takes you 2 months, maybe it takes you 6 months of consistent practice to be able to see consistent benefits. But I think we all know that a year goes by very quickly. And imagine that in a year from now, you have better energy, your sleeping habits are better. Wouldn't that be worth it to you, to be able to sleep through the night, to be able to fall asleep easily, to be able to wake up energized and motivated without a kind of heaviness. So that's the invitation of this chat, is to take the leap of faith and practice those things. The other thing that I would add is when we're talking about the power of digestion, which is also a very, very important foundation of our life, alternate nostril breathing can really help support digestion and elimination. If that is something that you struggle with, you have allergies, you have food intolerances, you feel heaviness or gas or bloating or some sort of struggle in the GI tract or the elimination system, try alternate nostril breathing before your meals. Just even 3 minutes before every meal. And remember, we talked about how you can even do it without your fingers, will help to kind of harmonize the energy. And remember, the digestion is a little stove. And so when it is kind of fed with energy, when it is and that energy is taken kind of from the outside of our body and kind of brought and harmonized in along the spine, in through the GI tract, that will help to stimulate and support digestion. So whether we're talking about the very practical foundations of life around sleep, around digestion, this practice is absolutely a game changer. What I'd love you to do is just keep practicing, but also let us know where you are stuck. If it's not working for you, let us know, because there's just a little bit of troubleshooting we have to do. There is no doubt this practice will do everything we have talked about. These are not empty promises. But sometimes we just have to do a little bit of troubleshooting. So we'd love to hear from you on where something isn't working for you. Your arm gets tired, your nostrils are blocked. You've been practicing it for 2 months and you're not noticing a change. You find it boring, you find it tedious. It's just tricky for you. Let us know. We'll create more content around troubleshooting, or we'll just be in touch with you to support your journey. So although we are not connecting personally here, you are absolutely not alone, and we are definitely in your corner. So let us know how we can help. And there is definitely more we have to say and more we can do around supporting your journey with alternate nostril breathing.